Hello and welcome to How to Make an Ebook. It's an extra tutorial that I thought I would give you because we're going to be dealing with a shortcut. Now, first of all, I just want to make out that I'm going to be using Coffee-Cut HTML editor. The reason for that is that whatever changes I make on this page, you will see it on this page. This is the live preview box. So whatever changes I make here, you will actually see them straight away here, where in the Composer HTML editor you would have to click a preview tab before you can see the changes. Well, we don't have to in this version 12.5 of Coffee-Cut. Whatever changes I make here, you will see them here. I'm going to show you a shortcut. In the last 5 videos, I've been teaching you certain lines of code that can help you format your manuscript, and it's important the way you want it to look. Now, on our paragraphs, we've been dealing with indents, which are important. And this is the shortcut I'm going to teach you today. By having a look at the indent class, we can see here, okay? I'm not going to change any of this. I'm just going to change this line here. If we have a look at the code, we have p class equals indent on every paragraph. Okay, at the beginning of a paragraph we have this line of code, and by adding that line of code we get the indent. Well, the shortcut is going to show you that we don't need to add this line on every paragraph. We only need to add it once. Well, why didn't I show you the shortcut in the beginning? Because I want you to understand how code works before I show you any shortcuts. Let's start by changing something. And what we must change is this. I want you to have a look at this live preview, because whatever I do here, you will see it here. So just keep your eye on this live preview. I'm going to delete that. By changing it, we lose all our indents. We don't have any at all. Why? Because our code is looking for p.indent, and because we've deleted it, it can't find it, so we can't have any indents. Well, we're going to change that. Let's go to chapter 1. Here we have chapter 1, and we want to put some indents. We're going to leave that as it is. Let's scroll down to chapter 1. And in the previous tutorials, we had p-class indent, and it worked fine. It worked perfectly because it gave you the result that you were after. But now we're going to change that. First of all, I want you to delete this code and only keep p tag. Delete, but keep the p tag. Delete and keep the p tag. And as always, we end it with a closing p tag. We keep the page break as it is. Okay, so everything is there. Nothing is touched except that indent tag. So now we have only the open p. So what do we do to get the indent? Well, we add one line of code. We add that div tag. Okay, so what we do is we open it up and we type div. Now the great thing about Coffee-Cut is it tries to think what type of code we want. And we've typed a div, and if I press space, it gives us a whole selection of other codes that we can choose. And in this particular case, we're going to choose class. And when I click it, it fills in the rest of the code. Now, it finishes off with a closing div tag because it doesn't know that we've already got a whole bunch of text here, and this div tag will be placed at the end. So I'll do that first. I'll just cut that and then I'll paste it, nothing else. And we must add something in between these speech marks. And what do we add? Well, we add indent. I want you to watch this live preview as I type in the word indent. There we go. It adds the indents for us. By using that one line of code, it adds the indents on every new paragraph. And why does it do that? Because by enclosing everything within a div tag, everything is affected by what we want. And in this case, we want an indent. So at the beginning of every paragraph is an indent. And we close it by a closing div tag. Exactly the same as the poem. We opened with a div tag. We wanted italics, and everything in between becomes italics. and we close it with a div tag. Same now with chapter 1. Everything in between the div tag has an indent at the beginning of the paragraph. Can you see how powerful that is? By using that one line of code, we've eliminated having to add it to every paragraph in our manuscript. Let's do it again. We need to delete this. We need to delete this. Always keeping the p tag. Okay, let's just scroll down. We have the indents on chapter 1, but we don't have any indents on chapter 2. We need to add them. So we go to the beginning, we open, type in div, space, and I'll type in class equals speech marks. I type in indent, I type in speech marks, and before, there we go, we have the indents. Live preview. And what must we do? We close it with a div tag. So everything in between has an indent. Everything in chapter 2 between the opening div tag and the closing div tag has an indent at the very beginning of every paragraph. Scroll down to chapter 3. No indents. So we go to section 3, we delete we go to the beginning of the section, we open up with the div, and there we go. We have the indents. Isn't that fantastic? Isn't that so fast? Rather than having to add the indent code on at the very beginning of every paragraph, we only add it at the beginning with an opening div tag and then close it with a closing div tag. No div tags. We delete this. We keep that closing div tag. And we have the new indents. Remember, still open with a P and close with a P, and the div tag is closed with a closing div tag. And we keep the page breaks. Chapter 5. And indents. Absolutely brilliant. And we close it with a div tag. There we go. Really, really good stuff. You could actually do this with the copyright notice, but you could replace everything in the center with just a div tag. I'll give you an example. If we go to the top and we've got center, I'm going to copy this and then I'm going to paste it, but I'm going to call it div. Okay, so we've got p center and div center. Okay, exactly the same here. Nothing changes, just these here. And because we've still got the p center in the code, this hasn't changed, but we're going to change that because I want to show you both examples. So we've got the p class center and everything is centered here. I delete that, and the copyright 2012 is now not centered. I'm going to close this first of all, just to show you, with a div tag. Okay, again, nothing happens because we can see nothing's happened in the preview. So I'm going to type in, okay, div class, and because it's center, we just type in center, and it gets centered. If I deleted every single one of these and then closed it with a div tag here, everything then would be centered. Okay, shall we do that? Okay, let's just delete that. Let's just give you two versions. I'm going to delete some of these. And because I already have the div class center there, everything is kept centered. If that wasn't there, everything would go to the left because it doesn't know what you want to do. If I add it back, everything gets centered. It just saves you adding all this extra code if you don't want it. Shall we do it again? So let me just cut that first of all so you can see what's going on, and I'll delete that. And Let's delete that. Delete that. Delete that. And delete that. Okay. I close it first of all with the div tag, just to show you what's going on. And then I open it up and watch the live preview window. Everything gets centered. So just by opening with the div tag and closing with the div tag, everything in between gets centered. You can do it using the shortcut, or you can do it using the repeated method. Whichever way, you're still going to get the same result. Everything centered here is using the open and close div tag. Everything centered here is using the center class on every single line. It doesn't matter which one you use, they both work. So that's the shortcut tutorial. I hope you've learned something. I hope that you will use the shortcut in your manuscript. If you're struggling with the shortcut, just send me an email and I'll be happy to help you and guide you through this. So I hope you've understood this. I hope it's helped you. And by using the shortcut, it really will cut down on the coding and it will keep all the code nice and neat. So it's Ian here with this last tutorial for how to make an ebook. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the Calibre tutorial. Bye!